It's beginning to feel a little bit like winter here in Tampa Bay. You're looking here at Max Defender 8 as a cold front bringing some colder temperatures here to the state of Florida, right ahead of the arrival of the month of December. Hey there, everybody. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now alongside WFLA meteorologist Ian Oliver. Hashtag Hey Ian. If you want to ask him a question, we'll also be looking for hashtag Hey JB, but really looking for hashtag Hey Ian comments here in the Facebook Live comment section to talk more about some of this cold weather that is arriving. Let's get straight over to Ian with the very latest on when the coldest of the cold will be arriving this week in Florida. Hey there, Ian.
JB, good afternoon. Today's officially the last day of hurricane season.
Yeah, hey, we can celebrate that. We can celebrate that.
Par for the course this year, though. It's from one thing to the next thing, and now we're talking about this legitimate cold front that came through this morning and some much colder air to follow as we head towards the middle of the week, especially coldest air we felt since back in January or February at the beginning of 2020. So Max Defender 8, this of course looks a whole lot different than it did this morning. We had that line of showers and thunderstorms that rolled on through quickly, but they were pretty strong this morning. We had some 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, an isolated report, couple reports actually of a potential tornado, northern part of Pinellas County, northwestern part of Hillsborough County. We'll be waiting for some clarification from the Weather Service on that. But you see it's much quieter now. Down towards Lake Okeechobee, there's still a few showers. These were the maximum wind gusts that I'm talking about, though, 30 to 40 miles per hour. They raced on through, and now the cold air is going to continue to rush in behind this cold front. And a key indicator that the front has passed, you look at the wind direction. Now out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained, but we've seen some wind gusts up over 25 miles per hour. So it's breezy, and because that breeze is out of the northwest, it feels cold because it is much colder as that air works in heading into the overnight hours tonight. That's a wider look at the satellite and radar picture. You can see that front now dropping into South Florida. Wider picture, though, shows that this is a sprawling storm system across the eastern part of the country. Look at that, some snow. I just saw some video on Twitter, JB, some snowflakes flying in Nashville. Places like Lexington, where I used to live, they had a coating of snowfall this morning. All the way up into the Ohio River Valley and towards the Great Lakes, they're dealing with some wintry precipitation to close out this month of November and move into December. And this is what's moving in behind the cold front. Much drier and much cooler air, and that includes for the entire peninsula of Florida. That's what our forecast model is showing you right here. Through the evening, the overnight hours tonight, skies start to clear out. That helps the cooling process, but that breeze stays up out of the north and west, pulling down some of those colder temperatures. We'll drop into the 40s by tomorrow morning. Then heading on through the day tomorrow, lots of sunshine expected for our Tuesday, but it's going to be, in a sense, powerless to help us out against that cooler air that's arriving. High temperatures tomorrow struggle just to get back into the low 60s, I think, across some of our northern spots. Even with sunshine, it's likely a day spent stuck in the 50s. So it's been a while since we've experienced anything like this. That's the picture right now at St. Pete Beach. Upper 60s, close to 70. But our temperatures are actually backing off. We've already hit our high temperatures for today. A little bit of sunshine poking out. That's our News Channel 8 tower cam. 71 degrees, dew point down to 56, but look at that wind, northwest at 16 miles per hour. You can see some of the cooler air already arriving across northern spots. Crystal River is just 63 degrees. You compare that with Venice and Northport, closer to the mid-70s. Forecast temperatures moving through the rest of the afternoon, dropping back through the mid-60s, then heading into the overnight hours tonight. There's the blues, JB. It's getting a whole lot colder overnight tonight as we drop down into the upper 40s. By tomorrow afternoon, there you go. I think a lot of spots struggling to make it to 60. Many spots actually may not make it to 60. So look at this. This is the most dramatic part of the forecast right here.
Sure, yep.
It's Wednesday morning. A forecast low temperature of 40 degrees. That's for Tampa, which means our northern areas likely very close to, even to the freezing mark, potentially Wednesday morning. We start to snap out of it by Thursday. We're still cool, though, low 50s. It's really the middle part of the week, though. That's the core of the cold air behind this cold front. There it is, right above us, Wednesday, 8 a.m. That moves out, and then heading into the weekend, Friday into the early part of Saturday, it's another cold front. This one's not as powerful as the one that just moved through, thankfully, but it will keep our temperatures a little bit below average as we move towards the weekend. And you can see that with the 8-day forecast. Rain's wrapping up for today. far southern spots, still a tiny sprinkle chance. A lot of sunshine through the middle part of the week, but it's chilly sunshine. Then that next front comes through Friday into Saturday. You see about a 20% shower chance there. Sunshine breaking out for the weekend, but Sunday, another day with sunshine. We're stuck in the 60s. So it could obviously be a whole lot worse, but this is our first legitimate taste of winter, and it's actually well timed as we're making the switch up into December, JB.
40 there. So that would be Wednesday, waking up Wednesday morning, feeling that 40-degree temperature?
Yeah, and that's for right around the bay. So again, if you lived in a typical cooler spot, inland areas, northern spots, that's likely starting the day in the 30s.
Wow. So yeah, looking at some really cool temperatures for Florida standards. Now, I've seen some funny comments here on Facebook Live of people saying, "Oh my goodness, this is what Floridians feel like is really cold weather." But it is 40 degrees here in the opening week of December. Is quite chilly, Ian, to say the least. But this isn't necessarily out of the norm for us, right? I mean, is this?
You see that there, our average low temperature this time of the year is 57 degrees, and we should, when we talk about the norm, we should talk about at least kind of a recency bias. We just wrapped up what's considered meteorological fall, which is September, October, November. This was the warmest on record for Tampa Bay, going back to 1890. That's how far back the reliable weather records for the Tampa Bay area go. So we're talking about 130 years. This was the warmest period over the last few months. So when you've been dealing with above average temperatures, a lot of sunshine, a lot of warmth, and you wake up and it's 40 degrees, that feels a whole lot colder. So we're going to be dealing with a degree of that. But again, this isn't that bad. It's pretty brief. I've already been posting some stuff, Facebook and Twitter. I grew up in Westport, Massachusetts. My buddies from New England are clowning me because of what we're basically talking about
right now is this being cold, right? This is
long.
Cold.
Been down here 5 years now, JB. It takes like 6 months, I think.
Yeah, we get soft pretty easy coming down here to Florida, and I'm sure a lot of folks that have come here from the Northeast know exactly what we're talking about. JB Buno, Ian Oliver here with you live. Want to take some of the hashtag Hey Ian comments that are just coming in. We're looking for hashtag Hey Ian beginning now on Facebook Live. Kevin Tucker here, hashtag Hey Ian. We're driving in snow at the Georgia-Tennessee border right now.
Yeah, and I'm
Be safe at the wheel.
Yes, absolutely. It's probably not what you expected. Maybe a late trip back from the long holiday weekend coming out of Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a pretty significant outbreak of cold air across the eastern part of the country. We've got this sprawling upper level area, low pressure, basically a big pool of cold air that's just sitting across the eastern United States. You can see that overall general swirl. That's what's helping to pull down some of that colder air. And it's a tough day across a portion of the eastern part of the country dealing with snowfall when you might not expect it late November.
Yeah, pretty wild to see it there over Nashville. We're not even in the month of December yet. Again, taking some Facebook Live comments here. Here's Michelle's comment, hashtag Hey Ian. Will Northport get that cooler temperature? I think it's pretty it's pretty clear that we can say that really the entire state of Florida is going to be experiencing some bit of cold temperatures over the course of the next several days, but some areas are going to get a little bit cooler than others. What could Northport expect?
Yeah, absolutely, JB. We were doing a Facebook Live yesterday. We had someone ask about Fort Lauderdale. So obviously significantly farther south. Yes, this is a proper winter time cold front. So it's sweeping across the entire peninsula of Florida. That's going to bring even some cooler temperatures down across South Florida. Temperatures there dropping down into the 50s. This is for tomorrow morning, and you see Northport at 51 degrees. Tampa, St. Pete, areas right around the bay, forecast is for the upper 40s, but this isn't the coldest morning. In fact, let me see if I can get this pulled out here. This is one of the nice things about doing this on the fly as we move towards Wednesday morning. This is just one forecast model, but there you go, 40, that's our forecast for areas immediately around the bay. Look at Northport, 38 degrees. That's the output from this particular forecast model. Yeah, places away, at least away from the immediate Gulf Coast. Definite possibility we see those temperatures dropping into the upper 30s. And look at our northern spots, as I mentioned, pretty close to the freezing mark there. Brooksville, Crystal River, and Inverness. That's going to be, again, a bit of an adjustment. You really got to break out the cold weather gear, at least for a day or two, heading into the middle part of this week.
Again, just looking for hashtag Hey Ian, hashtag Hey JB comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. We have Cruz, Jimmy here, hashtag Hey Ian. I'm a Florida boy. This is perfect weather, says Cruz. I think so. Yes. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
I have to agree with that. What we've been dealing with lately, 75 to 80 for a high temperature with no humidity.
It's been nice.
It's perfect.
It's been absolutely nice. Let's get to this comment here from Alicia. Hashtag Hey Ian, when was the last time it snowed in Florida? And so if we're talking about northern communities, we're talking about as north as the Panhandle, Jacksonville, I'm sure that the answer is a lot more recent. But what do we say here for Alicia's comment here?
Yeah, this is where we start fights on social media.
Right.
Because
what is technically snow?
Yes.
And also, Florida, again, regionally, it's very, very different. I was in
Yes.
Mobile, Alabama. We got snow just a couple of years ago when I was living over there on Alabama's Gulf Coast. So, again,
it's kind of the dubious nature of weather records, too, because it's how we basically record weather. Our major recording site is Tampa International Airport. So sometimes in the summer, the sensor will say we didn't get any rainfall, but you live on Gandy and you got smoked with a thunderstorm and 3 inches of rain. But officially, that was a dry day because it didn't rain or we didn't get a big wind gust at Tampa International Airport. So I believe as far as measurable snowfall, I'm trying to remember the exact date. Don't quote me on this. I believe it was 1977 and it was a few tenths of an inch.
wow, that
of
long
snowfall.
ago. That long
But
ago.
that doesn't mean that you don't live in Florida and you didn't have a snowflake on your windshield or depending on where you live, it's at that weather site. So I got to go back and check that. But again, if you've lived here your whole life, we've had plenty of outbreaks. Since I've lived here, we've had a number of times where we've dropped down below the freezing mark.
No angry emails towards Ian with pictures of that one snowflake that
Yes.
fell on your sunroof.
That's it, receipts. Don't send me the receipts.
That's
I believe you.
right. Thank you so much, Alicia, for that comment here. Dava Marie here, hashtag Hey Ian, are we finally done with the 90s?
At least for now, at least as far as we can see. You know, sometimes we get the anomalous heat that comes sometimes January, February, we can see that. But this is your 5-day temperature forecast right there, a far cry from any 90s there. And then the long-term outlook, this is looking beyond those next 5 days, the 6 to 10-day outlook. This comes from the Climate Prediction Center. Average high temperature now this time of the year, we'll pull that up for you right there. It's 75 degrees now. So we're talking about a signal in the long range towards temperatures, high temperatures that are below 75 degrees. And that's because we've got that next cold front coming Friday into Saturday. There's another batch of some cooler air behind that next cold front. So we get into this weather pattern now. Once we make the full transition out of the rainy season, we're in the dry season. You know how it goes. We get a once-a-week cold front, essentially. It gets chilly. It warms up gradually through the week. Front comes through. It rains. Sometimes it storms. If it's a powerful front, sometimes we get severe weather.
Yep.
Then it's chilly again, and it starts warming up. We're fully into that pattern, it looks like, at this point. We had the strong cold front come through this morning. Now all week we'll be waiting for that next cold front. That next cold front cools us down through the weekend, the early part of the following week, and then we'll be on the lookout for the next cold front after that.
Next, this is really a last call for comments. We're going to be here live for another 5 or so minutes. Ian Oliver, myself, looking for your hashtag Hey Ian comments here on Facebook Live in the Facebook Live comment section. To those of you joining us, thanks so much for being here with us this really the final day of November. December is, believe it or not, right around the corner. Sharon Jackson, hashtag Hey Ian, is this early for a cold front? I guess this time of year bringing this type of temperatures, I believe, is what Sharon is asking.
It's really not. We haven't had many. Actually, I say that. We had a pretty strong cold front that came through, what was that, the end of October. That gave us our first little shot of what this was. Ooh, this is pretty cold.
Right.
It's really not. It's definitely a pretty dramatic shot of colder air, especially after the last 3 months where, as I mentioned, this was our warmest meteorological fall on record. We've had a lot of warmth this fall. To see a departure from normal, as we talked about, 57 degrees is the average low temperature now this time of the year. We've got one morning down to 40 degrees. It's definitely a significant shot of cold air, but I wouldn't say at this point that it's particularly early. We're well out of the rainy season now, and it's just strength of the cold fronts. That's what matters, how much cold air can actually make it through. This one is a pretty strong one. We saw that with the storms that rolled on through this morning, and now that cold air is making its way in, at least for the next couple days.
All right, the next and final, I think this is going to be the final question, but again, looking for your hashtag Hey Ian questions and comments here in the Facebook Live comment section here on WFLA Now. Deborah Stasiak here, hashtag Hey Ian, hashtag Hey JB. Do you foresee our winter here in Florida to experience more of these low temperatures than usual?
No,
so in short, what she's asking is this going to be a cold winter here in Florida?
Yeah, we don't have a strong signal towards that. In fact, it's still kind of the opposite. We talk a lot about tracking the tropics, we do a lot of chatting about some of these weather patterns. We're still in a La Nina, which would actually push us towards a slightly drier and slightly warmer winter. That's what the seasonal forecast is for us. A little bit lesser than average precipitation, slightly warmer temperatures. But that's when you look at the season as a whole. That doesn't mean we won't have a number of strong cold fronts that come through and really give us some legitimate shots of cold air like this one. It's just saying when you look at that season from more of a top-down view, looking at it from space, we'll remember it as more of a warmer one when we look at average temperature across the entire season.
And I'm happy that we got this final question here. It's coming from Brandy Krynock here in the comment section. Hashtag Ian, should Citrus County cover plants? And maybe we could just broaden this out to just talk about the Citrus County and the Tampa Bay area at large. Covering plants? What do we say here?
Honestly, I would. Taking a look at these forecast low temperatures here, we haven't had any products from the Weather Service issue just yet in terms of frost advisory or freeze watch, any things of that nature. We'll be watching for those. But yeah, tonight, probably not so much. Temperatures upper 30s to around 40 up in Citrus Hernando especially. But by Wednesday morning, there you go. That's uncomfortably close to the freezing mark. So if you have any sensitive plants outside, there's no harm in covering them up. So I would. It's going to be very dry. I don't think we're going to see a widespread frost or anything like that. But if you can cover them up, why not? And it's also the time, if you have pets, you're going to want to be thinking about them for tonight and then especially for tomorrow night.
Yeah, appreciate also Krista Ford's comment here. Hashtag Hey Ian, do we need to cover the garden crops? And then Les Smith here. Hashtag Hey Ian, like Vermont, the mosquitoes won't bite.
Yes,
no,
you need some cold. That's it.
Nice plus there to say the least.
I love Vermont. I've lived in Vermont for 7 years. My buddies, some of the same ones that were giving me a little grief about these posts, they're up in Jay Peak right now, and they actually opened the ski resort 2 days ago, and those guys have 2 ski days registered already. So that's my my jealousy disclaimer.
Getting to enjoy the slopes there a little bit. Hey, how about a live picture from right outside where we are here in downtown Tampa? Ian, looks like a pretty nice day out there. And again, right now, 70 degrees, but this is going to be about a 30-degree change in temperature here over the next 48 hours.
Yep, we're going from the low 70s right now, and by Wednesday morning, it's a temp around 40.
Before we let you go, Ian, how would you describe your perfect Christmas day, weather-wise? I'm putting you on the spot here because it relates to our poll question. We got about 1,000 votes in our poll question. We asked, what is the perfect Christmas weather? So you were just talking about you were basically laying out a love letter for Vermont. What is your perfect Christmas weather?
Where am I sitting? Am I sitting in Tampa Bay on Christmas?
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna base this on you being exactly as you are. If you could be in Vermont or if you could be in Florida, what is your perfect Christmas weather?
Sitting right here.
Yeah.
I want it to be 80 degrees with low humidity outside.
Wow.
If I'm somewhere where there's mountains, I want it to be cold and I want it to be just dumping snow.
80. You want 80 on Christmas?
Why not? You know what I mean? If it's comfortable, 80 with low humidity, that's money. For me, like I said, I grew up in New England. I miss snow that I can ski on. If I can't ski on it, I got no use for it. I don't want to shovel it. I don't want to brush it off my car. I don't want to slip on it. If I can ski on it, thumbs up. Otherwise, 80 and sunny, low humidity.
Wow, look at that. All right, so how about our poll results? This is from Facebook Live, from about 1,000 or so votes that have come in here on Facebook Live. What is the perfect Christmas weather? And really close, really close
JB.
Here.
You split in the crowd.
Yeah, look at this. 36%, well, the top vote was 36%. 40s or 50s, nice and cool. So not somewhere right in the middle for what we would normally expect, I think, roughly for Christmas Day here in Tampa Bay or elsewhere here in the state of Florida. 32% saying 30 degrees or lower with snow. You want your snowy Christmas, your perfect wintry Christmas morning. Or 32% saying 60s plus, bring on that Florida heat. How about that? Pretty cool. We run a lot of polls here. Few get as close as this, but the number one result here, Ian, 40s or 50s, nice and cool, right in the middle.
Tough result. And that's kind of the tweener That no man's land there a little bit.
Yep. Ian Oliver, JB Buno, Ian, and the rest of our Max Defender 8 team here will be tracking this cold weather as it gets closer. When you wake up, turn on WFLA News Channel 8 with our entire morning team. Check out Lee Spann. Throughout the day, check out Ian Oliver, Julie Phillips, of course, Amanda Holly, and a Chief Meteorologist, Steve Jervey. Keep it with us here on WFLA News Channel 8, and of course the WFLA app, WFLA.com, the Max Defender 8 app. We have everything that you need to know, of course, weather-related here in Tampa Bay. For Ian Oliver, I'm JB Buno. More to come in the days ahead as colder weather gets a little bit closer here in Tampa Bay. For now,
matter of time. Had to happen.
Ooh, man, here we are. December, right around the corner, folks. See you soon.